Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Anna. Guys, today I wanted to play around with my wax melts that I got from Crespire. I will leave the link to everything that I have received in my last package in the description box, along with a coupon code. And today I am playing with the brass stamps, and these are so cute. They're so little. And they have so much detail on them. But I did want to show you how these stamp. So these are I believe three wax melts that I put in there. And I'm gonna show you what it looks like with 3 wax melts, just the wax itself. So this should be about ready to go. And I am going to pour this down, and it looks like 3 is too many. So I'm going to try 2 of them. So I'm gonna stamp the happy birthday one, and because that looks like too much wax for the smaller one. So I have discovered something on the larger ones that I'll show you in another video. Right now I'm gonna work with the brass stamps. So I did find these cute little bezels maybe in my stash. I have not used them, and I don't think I've ever used them actually. So I thought, well, this would be perfect to put the wax into and then stamp it and use them as a charm and not be afraid that it's going to, you know, fall off or break off or anything like that. So I'm going to use that also after I stamp this one. So I'm going to stamp this one with the smaller stamp, with the brass one, and I'm going to put that right there. Okay, and I'm going to show you something on that, but I believe this one is probably ready to go. This one's the happy birthday one, and I really like this one. This is the full-size one. And of course, having a silicone mat would be much better. And it stamps really well, guys. I just love the way that looks. It's nice and detailed, and coloring it in is easy. So I like that one. Okay, so let me pour this out. I'm gonna pour it on top of that. I wanna show you something. I'm going to put 2 wax melts in this one, and then I'm going to remove this from here and show you what that looks like. I could let it cool down a little bit more, but I have discovered that on the brass stamp, it is quite heavy. So it stamps, I mean, it goes down pretty thin. How do I say that? Once you put the brass stamp down, it does kind of squish everything out, so you get a thinner image in the center. If you were to use it like this, whether it be on paper or whatever, I'm going to do it on paper just so we can see what it looks like on paper. Make sure that's, just so we can see that. Remember, this was 2. I'm going to pour this down, and then I'm going to put the stamp over it, and we'll see what it looks like on paper. Now I'm going to put 2 more in there, and I'm going to pour it into this bezel, and then I'll put the stamp over it. I'll use the butterfly stamp for this one. So I'm using 2 wax melts for this, and we'll see what that looks like once it's the wax is in there. So I don't know if it's going to look the same, you know, that thin layer at the bottom. I'm going to crack this in half, or break it in half, just so you can see how thin it kind of, well, maybe I have to cut it. You know, just so you can see that it does, you know, flatten quite a bit. So here is the stamp, only the stamp. I've removed the excess wax, and that stamp's pretty thin, guys. So in my opinion, I would probably use the bezel or put it on paper. I probably wouldn't use it by itself the way I would like the birthday one. So anyway, it stamps out pretty thin, okay? So on paper, I'm sure it sticks very well. So let me try to remove this here. Should be ready. And there we go. It'll stick to your paper very well, okay? So you can kind of see through the outer part of the flower. You can see the pink paper on there. So I'm going to use this bezel. And remember, this was 2 wax seals. And I'm going to pour it in there. And I'm just going to pour enough to fill up the bezel. And actually, I think that was too much. Yeah, it was too much. So I'm going to try I'm going to try less on another bezel. I'm going to use a gold one. So that was too much. So you kind of got to play around with it just to know how much you're going to put in there. So there's that one. That one doesn't have quite enough. Maybe if I spread it out a little bit. It is a little warm, but yeah, it gets hot. Okay, let me put this in there and see what it looks like. I like that much better. So this bezel, I just used way too much wax on this one. But the good thing is that there you go. The good thing is that you can pry this out of there. Not that it's something that we're going to do, and since the wax is still warm, we can kind of, you know, take it out of there. There we go. So you don't lose any of the wax or the bezel itself. You can play around with it. There we go. I was able to pry it out of there. So I'm gonna put a little more wax in that one. But overall, I like the way that looks. Of course, it's on your paper, so it's not gonna come off. So it doesn't matter how thin it gets on the stamp itself. Okay, this should be ready. I'm gonna pour that in there. So just play around with it and determine how much wax you can put in there. So here we go. Oh, there we go. That looks so cute. Remember, I always mark my my front, my top and bottom on that. So there we go. I was able to get it on there pretty straight. I really wasn't even aiming to get it that straight, but there we go. We can put this on a charm and it will look fantastic. Color it in. I don't want to color it in because I'm going to take it out and do it again. These are kind of hard to take apart. Okay, I'm going to pull this out of there. There we go. I was able to pull it out of there. I bet you if I was a little more careful, I could pull it out without breaking it and use it that way. Or maybe if I were to extend the rim of the bezel out, it would be easier to take out and just use it that way. Send them off in Happy Mail. Look at that. How cute is that? That looks really good. I'm gonna try this one on paper. See what it looks like on paper. And I'm thinking, what if I let it cool down just a little bit? Oh, that looks pretty. Oh my goodness, that looks pretty. I like that. I'm going to move it up. And I'm going to bring this one down just as far as I can. Hopefully you can still see that. Oh, it looks so pretty. I like that. What if I try adding a small, tiny, I don't know, maybe a, I'm going to try to add that little bling piece in the center. Okay, let's see what this one looks like. Ah, that looks nice. Look at that. And yeah, see how you can see the color of the paper at the bottom. So it does stamp out kind of thin. And I'm just going over this really quickly. I'm probably filling in the grooves. I can't see very well from here. Yeah, that's pretty, pretty, pretty. I like that. That's pretty. I just love the way it looks with that ring around it. I just love that. So we're gonna let this one dry just a little, or cool down just a little bit more. And then we are going to stamp the happy birthday again right here. Okay, this should be ready. Ah, that looks pretty. So for this one, all we would have to do is add a ring to it and use it on a charm, or use it for a dangle or something on a charm. There you go. It is easy peasy, ready to go. Aw, that looks cute. Oh my gosh, that looks really, really cute. I love the way that looks. Yes, I do. So this was the last one that we were going to make, and there is that happy birthday one. And I love the happy birthday one very, very much. I like all three. So that is what all three stamps look like. And this is the way it looks like on a bezel. I like that. Very, very good. What I'm going to do with this little crystal, I will let you know how well the glossy accents dried with the crystal right in the center. I'll let that dry and I will let you know how it turns out in the next video. We'll see how well it holds up. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to everyone later. Y'all have a great day. Thanks a lot, guys.